I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and it is my pleasure to announce that it is that time of the year. The 2024 Carcassonne World Cup, also known as the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship, is starting in April, but now we're finally in the preseason where all the teams and all the players are trying to remember how to play Carcassonne, trying to make themselves not rusty and organize friendly matches with each other. And today we'll be witnessing Team Belgium against Team Spain. Tomorrow, by the way, there is another match, Team Spain against Team Croatia, the newcomer for the World Cup. This one I will not be streaming, but you can view a stream with commentary by my fellow YouTuber Nallerheim on his channel. I'm sure many of you have already following his channel already. Okay, thank you for confirming, Napalm Eye, that the sound is low. I fixed it. Should be better. Should be better. Should be better. And hi, Craft Giraffe as well. So, I'll remind you the rules of the game. Hi, Girappa. The rules, not the rules of the Carcassonne game, but the rules of the match. There will be 6 duels, not 5 duels, as in the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship, because there is no limit to players who can participate. So 6 players playing a duel of best of 3. Whoever wins the duel gets a point for that team, and whichever team scores more points win. Because there are an even number of players on both sides, a tie is technically possible. So maybe that's what many of us will be rooting for. By the way, do let me know who you're rooting for, Team Belgium or Team Spain. You said increase the volume even further. I thought my volume is already boom, 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 boom. Already like super loud. This is so weird. But I can do that. Also, interesting is that like it shows that my volume is almost like super high. But anyway, it is what it is. Shall I increase it even more? Even more? Let me know. Well, anyway, back to this. Oh, so many of you already here. Do meeple the like button if you like the idea of the team championship, and if you want to see, want to help me out with the algorithm a little bit. Hi, Edgar. Hi, Lev. Hi, Vika. Hi, Glovier. Hi, Naleheim, who will be streaming tomorrow, by the way, the match against Croatia. Hi, Temruk. Okay, volume is loud enough, you're saying. I mean, it's possible to increase further, but I am afraid for those of you who may have headphones on. Hi, Daniel. All right, rooting for Belgium here. Anybody rooting for Spain? Oh yes, thank you, KK Spam. I did hit 1,000 subscribers, and I don't want to say it just yet, but there will be a celebration. It just requires some separation. So in the next, hopefully a few days, maybe at least, okay, in March, watch out for a 1,000 subscribers celebration. And in case you're not subscribed, then please do. I mean, we're already only 990 subscribers remaining until 2,000. That will be another big milestone. Belgium all the way, baby. Of course, crazy Carcassonne with a lot of farmers. Interesting games. This is what we're going to see, I hope, today. But before we start, I want to actually run through a little bit through the lineups. Well, I mean, you can see the lineups for Team Spain and Team Belgium. I can read out all the screen names. I just want to highlight a couple of interesting players. So in Spain, I think the play with screen name Texe1 hasn't played a lot before. Rakarot will be very interesting to watch because they seem to have been very prolific for Team Spain in the last World Cup. There were several matches where which came down to one duel or one game, and it was very often Rock'n'Rod who delivered the deciding point for Team Spain. And the new captain of Team Spain, the POC, that's Joaquin Calzado, host of the Meeple podcast. So he has talked on his podcast, he has interviewed basically every famous Carcassonne personality there is, including most of the world's top players. So let's see if hosting all these interviews have helped them gather knowledge. Whether on Team Belgium side, there's a new teamer, Fabien Mouton, who must have qualified. Oh yes, they qualified through the online championship, but the captain's still the same. That's Nico Vellemans with the screen name NW, and we might be watching their duels as well. So I'm going to start with Joaquin Calzado's duel, and then later I'll be following your lead if there's any particular player whom you'd like to watch. Alrighty, time to refresh and jump into the games. And of course, the Spanish player with screen name The POC is playing against Nicolas Victor of Belgium, the player with a screen name Gina, formerly Belgian online champion and Belgian in-person champion, not quite this year. So, it is the Spanish player who is playing second, and Gina was playing first. They started the game and they scored 4 points for this little city. And Joaquin, with the blue meeples, has no problem meepling features for a small number of points. This is what you do in the opening. This road will grow. This city will grow. Of course, a little bit uncomfortable here. This beautiful tile here for the Belgian player makes it slightly harder for the Spaniard to continue this city, but not really that much harder. And also, look at this rodent was a pleasant side effect for the player with the blue meeples, because now for this guy it is now much easier to finish this road. So Gina starts a new road, at the same time makes it harder for the player with the blue meeples to finish the road from here. So restricting the square, only 6 tiles that fit into this square. Yeah, so far the Belgians getting excellent tile draws, but look at this, the POC is just preventing himself from getting blocked and is only 2 tiles away from completing the city. But look at this fantastic tile draw for Gina, and he starts an attack on this city, and all this work here by the POC will be neutralized. This is, of course, the most unfortunate turn of events for the Spanish player. So you see, in order to get a good rating of 567, that's really nice. You also sometimes need to draw the right tiles. 18 versus 14 on the scoreboard, but the POC is still doing just fine. This city is about to get completed. This road is 1 point more than this road. Of course, this city is now absolutely menacing, and like 95% of the time, or even more often, it will be completed for 8 points eventually. And as a result, Gina does have, or will have, the advantage. The first monastery tile goes to the Spaniard. There's an excellent spot for this. That's great move. Look at this. Creating an attacking platform against the city. Controlling the city, because if the city is going to get completed, the player with the blue meeple is going to get an extra point. And last but not least, protecting this important square for the blue road, because once this triple crossroads tile is drawn, and there are 3 of these tiles remaining for an 88% chance for it to be drawn eventually, then blue will score 2 points for this road, finish this road, and add an extra monastery point. So it's certainly a very efficient way of building up. And Gina can't find a good use for the tile that they just drew, kind of dumps another triple city tile. Joaquin finishes a city and drops a farmer. I questioned that farmer a little bit, because if Gina now ignores this city, and goes over here, continuing this road, then very often this farmer can get boxed in for just 6 points for the rest of the game. So I think there was really no urgency in dropping this farmer. But Gina doesn't mind leaving open the opportunity of expanding the farm, and instead he just wants to continue the city and potentially finish it. Joaquin actually decides to add 1 point to Gina's road for the sake of simply expanding his farms. But this is exactly the problem of dropping early farmers like this. If you drop early farmers, then you need to spend a lot of effort on expanding them eventually. Whereas this effort would have been maybe better used somewhere else. For example, this tile could have been used like this, starting a new city up top and adding 1 point to his own road and not to his opponent's road. Well, he actually can still do this, but instead he decides to finish his city, does not drop a second farmer, I think, quite wisely. And I think Gina is now going to go here and drop a farmer. Surely that's has to be a good move. You go here, drop a farmer, get a curve, continue your road, get another curve, continue your road like this, and then you finish your monastery and continue your road like this. So if green goes here and drops a farmer, there is a scenario in which it's not too far-fetched, in which green with 1 meeple controls this huge road for a boatload of points. An alternative move for Gina is to go here, continue his road, and harass the monastery and slightly restrict Blue's road. So both moves are legit. I don't really see another move, but maybe the experienced Belgian mind sports athlete might surprise us, but he doesn't. Just boringly plays the best move available to them. Ooh, this is something else. The Spaniard came to play, using a tile and adding a point to his opponent, but creating a severe blocking threat. This is not cooperative Carcassonne, make no mistake. The play with the blue meeples is trying to draw a road tile that would go over here, and that would create an unfillable hole in this square, such that this meeple would never see the light of day. I like this move. It is rather annoying. Gina scores 2 points at the top, and now the POC draws the exact tile that he needs in order to complete his fiendish plan. And he does exactly that, and also slightly threatens this road. For example, if he gets a city tile here, by the way, then this square will be restricted, and then this road meeple will never see the light of day, and then the player with the blue meeples might enjoy a very long meeple advantage. How about that? Well, Gina now has the splitter tile, and maybe still the slight advantage, because if you think about this, blue has not as many points on the board as green has. And lovely move here by the Belgian, grabbing a new city, controlling blue's road, and at the same time making it much harder for blue to continue this monastery, because this city cap piece restricts the square quite severely. Because look at this, 1, 2, 3 out of the 4 tiles that fit into that square have already been used up. So if, and that's a big if, blue gets a tile that fits into this square, statistically it's going to be a long wait. The Belgian starts a new monastery in a lucrative spot, and immediately Joaquin equalizes the road in what I think is the only legal move that they had, well, one of the 2 legal available moves. Gina continues their road, and the play with the blue meeples equalizes the city at the top. So enjoying their 6 points advantage on the scoreboard, and just simply trying to equalize all the other features elsewhere. And you know, if everything's equal and you're +6 on the scoreboard, you win the game with a 6-point difference. I think this is Joaquin's plan. Clavier is saying that green's road is getting a lot of value. Well, this is true, but green's road is no longer green's road. It will probably be shared. And also look at this fantastic tile for play with the blue meeples. He just managed to finish a 4-point road, get his meeple back, +10 on the scoreboard, +2 meeples, and now suddenly, even though the tile run out looked great for Gina at the start, it is the Spaniard who is having the better winning chances, I think. Fantastic find from Gina, and this move might actually give the advantage back to green, because look at this. This square is so restricted that there actually are exactly zero tiles that fit into this square. Normally there would be 8 different tiles, but all 8 of them are already on the board. And here's what happens. This meeple is trapped with 1 point, but this meeple, it is also trapped, but it has 6 points and loads of squares to expand, with a couple of big tiles, such as extender tiles and the quadruple city tile, still in play. So it looks like with this move, the green just earned themselves a winning mini battle. Oh, lovely move here by the player with the blue meeples, recognizing, doing good tile counting, that all of these tiles have gone out, and this is a permanent block because there's no tile that fits into this square, which means that the Belgian will experience permanent meeple problems in the game. They have now only 1 meeple left, and really no places where they can get a meeple back soon. Well, there's the shared road, like if a rodent goes here, and if a curve goes here, well then green's gonna get a meeple back. But also blue is going to get a meeple back as well. Okay, so this has to be a mistake. This has to be a mistake. Green is just continuing their road and making the monastery more vulnerable. And they're continuing a road which eventually is going to be worth 0 points. And Joaquin is just playing excellently. Look at this. They're starting a city next to Green's monastery just to neutralize Green's monastery and preserve the meeple advantage, because the idea is Green cannot get this monastery back unless Green places this tile over here and continues Blue City. But do they want to do that? They would continue Blue City, and they would be also equalizing this road. So all this effort that Green puts into building an 8-point road will be neutralized by this 2-point meeple of blue. On the other hand, if this tile goes into the square, then the green meeple, which is worth only 3 points, will come into the field. Which is worth 9 points. So this will be equalized. Well, Gina chose not to bite, because of course it would not have been a good move, allowing blue to continue the city easily. And maybe now green can be okay with just continuing this road long term and having all these meeples trapped, especially now that the meeple count is equal, as the POC started a new monastery over here. Gina places their last meeple on a city piece, which I think was a mistake. This move was good, but Gina needed to leave the city camp empty. This is too marginal of value. Green is continuing his road, but at the same time giving blue more field squares where blue will be able to drop city caps and add more field points. So this is very, very risky from the Belgians' part. And look at this, Gina gets a beautiful splitter tile, but no meeple to use it. We presume we're going to see a 1-point city move somewhere over here. Glovier is saying that monastery by green was a bit rushed. It was alright, I think. It certainly makes context. And look at this. The POC finishes a beautiful monastery, and Gina just in time draws the last starting tile and gets bailed out of his risky behavior. Still 20 points behind on the scoreboard, but at least one meeple in hand that will allow him to score a little bit more at some point. The POC here in control. I presume is going to go here and start a 4-point ring road. This is what I would do. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 6 curves remaining. Of course, always go here and start a ring road. But even though the situation for green is dire, I see a path back into the game. There are two... no. Okay. No. Okay, this is hard. Okay, but I can see a path. So look at these two city pieces. I was going to say that Gina could put his last meeple over here and hope to finish that city with 2 back-to-back city caps. But instead, they now take 4 points. And the reason they now take 4 points is because the POC blocked this opportunity. So this is a very interesting move. Them being ahead on the scoreboard, they realized that it is more important for them to neutralize the worst case scenario and make it harder for her opponent to draw back-to-back city caps that would finish his city and give green a meeple back, and that it is more important to them rather than scoring a 4-point loop. Or possibly green or possibly blue just didn't see the 4-point loop, but they must have had a good reason. I rather like this move. Like, it fits very well for this tile run out. And now blue doesn't want to even build loops. Blue just continues the monastery. I do think it's a mistake. There's so many curves remaining. Like, it was... I think blue is just not seeing this opportunity. I know a move for Gina. So, if green wants to come back into this game, I think that they could do is go over here and leave everything empty. And here's the idea. If they go over here, then there will be 1 tile and 1 tile only that fits into the square. And then that tile would allow them a boatload of points for the city, should they win the coin flip. Well, this is not yet happening, as the POC draws 3 quick points. Gina now with a curvy tile, presumably going to add to his road, but maybe they have some sort of better idea. Oh, thank you for confirming the point count. Is green really now at +4? Is green really winning? This is interesting. Well, green may be winning now, but the meeple advantage of the POC should eventually help blue. Interesting turn of events. Green continues his road, and blue immediately attacks this road. And this is 4, 5, 6, 7. Quite risky. Well, there's still plenty of curves remaining. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 curves remaining that can complete the connection. And yes, and the POC draw of the curve. This is huge for the Spaniards. So all this long road, all these efforts have been equalized. And I believe that blue should be now in the lead. Well, let's check this. Blue is now +15. This road is equal. This farmer is 9 points. This is 3. This road is 2 points. This is +8 for this guy. 8-point monastery. So everything here is neutralized. 6-point monastery versus 7-point monastery versus 6-point city. That's +1. So this is +9. And then -8 because the monastery, that is +1, 2, 3, 4, 6 for this little city piece, 7, and then this city is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Aha. So it seems that if I counted everything correctly, and this is of course a big if, then Gina is up 2 points on the scoreboard, which is not enough. Yeah, because also blue gets another point, and I think Gina needs something. I don't know what they need. Well, actually, I know exactly what they need. I think they somehow need to find tiles that complete this city and give him a meeple back, and this will work. Of course, very low probability, but there is a dagger still in place. Wait, it's doable. There's this tile. Look at this. The crossroads. Yeah? Yeah. And a dagger tile. So you can finish the city like this. Oh, check this out. Imagine if Gina draws this first. Then they go over here. They score 3 points for the road. And then they draw the dagger tile, and then they score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14 points for the city. So with the right tile draw, it's still possible for Gina to conjure 17 points out of the blue. Will that happen? Statistics says no. But we have seen statistics defied so many times on this channel. The POC says, I don't care, you can do what you want. I'm going to drop a 6-point farmer at the top. I'm now at plus 15 something. Plus 13, I think. Or something like that. Well, well, well. What will the Belgian do? They might pre-build a sort of road somewhere. Or they actually might pre-build a monastery spot just in case. So if they go over here, and there's one monastery still remaining, then if they place the road over here, and somehow their last tile is a monastery, they'll be able to score 8 points for the monastery. They don't find this move. It's unlikely to be decisive. By the way, the POC now should, I think, go over here and kill the monastery spot for some precision. Still, okay, this is happening. Gina can score 3 points in the right place and then hope to draw the dagger tile. But look at this. I think it's a brilliant move here by POC because he's recognizing this opportunity. Now Gina scores 3 points. And will the POC draw a tile that fits here to block this opportunity by Gina? No, he just draws the dagger straight up. And decides to finish his city at the bottom. I even forgot about this stuff. Oh, and he takes over this huge road. It's like a boatload of points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 point road. Well, if there's finishing in style, then it has to be this. Whew. We picked the right game to watch. This may be preseason, but this is some playoff level content. Now, what is Gina gonna do? Well, I know they have to go here and they have to drop a farmer. And the POC now draws a curve. They get a curve and Gina gets a monastery. By the way, had they listened to me, Gina would have scored 1 point more had they placed this straight line over here. Of course, this 1 point won't matter, but imagine if it did. Imagine if it did. Yes, the road did have lots of value, just not for green. Wait, what a great debut for the new Spanish captain, the host of the Meeple podcast, who, of course, at some point interviewed Nicolas Victor as well. Turns out that they picked up all the secrets from Nicolas and used the secrets against him. Huge win for the Spaniard and a moral boost for Team Spain. And I now need to update the score. Speaking of which, is anybody following any other duels? Are there any interesting results somewhere? I know that most Spanish players play like super fast. So we might actually go through them. So nearly a plus 20 win for the POC, plus 15 rating points for 20 rating. Gina slipping down. I think we're going to maybe come back to this duel a little bit later because it's getting way too exciting. But I just want to have a look at some other players. So how is Rakarot from Spain doing? So Fabien Mouton won the first game with 141 points. Well, what's happening in the second game? We have to know this. Rakarot with a great rating of over 600. They have improved substantially since last time, and they have just started their second game. I think we're going to stick with this duel because we will be watching the Spanish MVP versus the Belgian newcomer. I think it's a great choice, especially given the fact that the newcomer defeated the Spanish star with 140 points. This is ridiculous. In this game, however, things are certainly going the Spaniards' way because even though it is Fabian who is ahead on the scoreboard, these two monasteries are just daunting for Rakarot. And Green certainly has the advantage here, especially after this tile goes over here. Green meeples it, takes over the city. I mean, it will be an easy advantage for the player with the green meeples. But maybe they make a mistake. Maybe they're too tempted by the 3-point road. Let's see in a few moments how the Spanish player chooses to act. If anybody's following any other duels, do let me know if there are any interesting developments. Whoa! The Spaniard clearly makes a mistake. Clearly makes a mistake. I'm shocked. How did you not neutralize this city? It's a city which is about to become an 8-point city. And unfortunately, the Spaniard does not get punished for his reckless behavior, because the Belgian does not draw the city cap to continue the city yet. Instead, the Belgian draws a 3-point road. Now we're probably going to see this curve go here, here, or here. Or here, a blocking tile. This is pretty interesting. But now, of course, from Fabian, we're going to see a monastery over here with a pre-built 3-point road. Remember this pattern of using a monastery as a monastery tile and at the same time protecting your roads toward a T-shaped crossroad? This is exactly what we viewed last game, except it was the Spanish player who did that. Certainly a powerful move, but finally, as Rakarot continues his monastery, Fabian draws a city cap to score 8 points for the city and punish Fernando for his questionable behavior. Well, 15-0 on the scoreboard. The Belgian finds yet another strong move, not tempted by quick points, but starting a new city and pre-building a 4-point road next to his monastery. This is pure beauty. But Rakarot now creating a severe threat of finishing his city at the bottom, and then this move will make him look like a genius eventually. Still a mistake. I will stand by my words no matter what. Still 7 Dorito tiles left, which Green can use to finish his city. And Fabian doesn't get a good tile, but there are a couple of strong moves. First of all, he can do the Ukrainian technique. I hope he does that. Does he know? Did he watch my videos? I know he did, but did he watch the ones about the Ukrainian technique? Or the idea that he could place this tile over here, meeple the city, and play against the monasteries, but instead he makes another interesting move, and I have to say I rather like it. Even though he adds a shielded tile to Green City, which is technically 2 points, he creates a connection platform to the city and makes it harder for Green to run away with the city points. Certainly a worthy move as well. The move that I would have played is neither. I would have actually gone over here and meepled this city simply to prevent Rakarot from doing what Rakarot just did, namely continuing his city with a city cap and finally getting on the scoreboard. Fabian now capitalizes on his setup, gets an extra road point, an extra monastery road point, and extra 4 points on the scoreboard. For the quick road point, still plus 15 for Fabian, but Rakarot has fantastic monasteries. He could actually complete one of them if he wanted. I think there is no rush to do that. We can either score 3 quick points over here, or starts a blocking attack against this yellow meeple over here. This is exactly what the Spaniard does. It is an unpleasant move to deal with if you're the Belgian, but... oh, this is a mistake. The first real mistake from the Belgian. I was so happy to see how he plays, but finishing the city is actually quite weak because it precludes productive use of so many tiles. There's still 3 giraffe necks, extender tiles that could have gone over here. Well, okay, so Rakarot draws them. For example, now, yeah, Fabian could have used this tile over here, but the fact that he closed his city, it was a bit premature. It was much better to score 3 points over here and kind of harass these 2 monasteries. But now, once this city has been closed, Fabian will need to find some sort of creative use for the city tile, and he uses it to start an indirect attack on Green City. But Green is trying to run away with that city. Green is just blatantly trying to complete it. Ha ha ha. Fabian is doing everything in his power to create an attacking platform. And what an unfortunate run out of tiles. Green start a new city, and by drawing this quadruple tile, Yellow is forced not only to add points to Green City, but also to eliminate 2 attacking platforms next to it. So I think Fabian is starting playing imprecisely. Look at this. In the pursuit of equalization of the city, he lost 4 points by placing tiles into his opponent's city. He lost to Meeple, which is now blocked. So with this tile over here, I do think that Fabian should have... basically, Fabian should have just allowed Rakarot to pursue the completion of the city. He was so far ahead on the scoreboard that he actually could have afforded this. But by chasing the city around, he's now putting himself in a bit of a difficult spot. He still has a 21-point lead on the scoreboard. He still will technically be able to attack and maybe equalize or at least block the city in the future. And he still has the meeple majority even after he invested one of his meeples on the field, which has 6 points, but some green squares and certainly potential. Strong 3-point move here by Fabian, trying to put some pressure on this square and maybe block Green's monasteries. Green can actually finish these monasteries if he wants to, but this is a dilemma because this tile belongs not only in this square, but also in this square to continue the city, or in this square trying to get a small city done and maybe just protect the entry points to Green City. I probably prefer this move because... nah, not that one. Well, it's okay. It's okay as well. Because there's still these tiles remaining. And look at this. Green maybe is going to lose a meeple. Well, not yet. There's still 2 tiles remaining that fit into this square. And yellow has created an attacking platform. So actually, I think as green, we say YOLO and we go over here. And we hope to get one of these tiles, which there are 2 still remaining. And that's a 75% chance. Well, of course, unless Fabian tries to go over here and block the square completely. That's a huge threat. And if yellow doesn't do anything, a 75% chance of green finishing this entire city and getting a boatload of points. I'm not even going to count. Probably this would be completely game decisive. Oh, thank you for the updates. OB Wonders game, it is 1-1. The decider is currently underway, and Rakarot goes for it. Loving that move. So will Fabian try to block? I think they should, or they should do that soon, but not yet. Instead, they finish the monastery, start a new city, and threaten the expansion of their own field. I like this. It's good to wait a little bit just to make sure that the block happens with the right tiles. Probably we're going to see some sort of blocking move from Rakarot, or a double purpose move going over here, starting a 4-point loop like this and restricting this square. Not gonna work. So blocking attempt goes for Fabian. Rakarot draws a fantastic monastery tile, but will it be enough, as Fabian is, I think, playing it really, really risky, because I think he You see what greed does to you. He wanted to score a little 6-point city over here, and he delayed the block by one move, and he would have blocked this square with this straight line, but by being greedy and by getting the 6-point city, he gave Rakarot just enough time to use the dagger to finish a gigantic 38-point city and to even start a ring road to rub it in. And now, especially with these extra monasteries and plus 8 points on the scoreboard, it is the Spanish player who is in the driver's seat to win this game. This is what greed does to you. Yes, immediate punishment. And we all caught that on stream, which of course the players do not know. Or they might, I don't know. Rakarot is just continuing road points. He does not care at this point. He just wants the game to end as quickly as possible. By the way, to rub it in, technically there's still one more dagger remaining that fits into this square. So green could draw it and even drop a farmer like this. This is another threat that Fabian will need to deal with. But let's see. There's still some Carcassonne left to be played. And yellow could mount a comeback. I just don't see exactly how, but maybe. Okay, I know. Maybe yellow somehow manages to block these two monasteries. And yellow manages to draw this dagger. Because at this point, yellow simply does not have enough time to place a tile here and another tile here and block this. Yellow just needs to score as many points as they can. And maybe yellow can use the temporary meeple advantage to add more city caps to the field and score points for these little cities. Something like this. Hopefully to entice Rakarot into a fruitless field fight. Something like that. So there is a glimmer of hope for Fabian. For example, yes, very good idea. Starts a potential 8-point city. Rakarot cannot thwart it. Moreover, Rakarot is not able to protect his monasteries. So what it's going to do? I see a strong move. We could actually start a counter field. Oh, yes. He's making mistakes. He's starting to make mistakes. So maybe not all is lost for Fabian. It's a huge mistake to start a field fight with a meeple minority and in such a way that expands the field. Because like all Fabian needs to do is draw a city cap and drop a farmer here. Or now I think he will go here and still drop a farmer. No, he doesn't. He just scores 2 points. He wants to really wait for a city cap. He must know something about the tile count that I don't. Rakarot now draws an important tile, but where does it go? He will be tempted to put it over here to finish his road meeple, but he kind of needs to address this city threat. Yellow is 1 city cap away from extra 8 scoreboard points and another farmer. Well, while Rakarot is thinking, I'm going to make the board a little bit smaller and update the score for you. Thank you for Nalaheim for keeping track. So Crafty is saying, okay, OB Wonders 1-1 against McCrack. By the way, speaking of the screen names, I only recently realized that crack is like a Spanish slang for like a successful person or just like a cool dude. Not necessarily a dude, I think it's not gendered. Whereas in English slang it means something else. But in Spanish it's completely different. It's like a positive word. El Gran Ohio Well, this Team Spain is looking very strong here. But Nico won, of course, the captain, taking care of his job. All right, back to the game. Fabian. Ah, interesting. Rakarot starting a new city. And Fabian scoring quick points and then dropping another farmer. This is exactly what I was talking about. Rakarot now depleted his meeple supply and expanded what is eventually going to be his opponent's field. In a game which surely looked like was going to be taken by the Spanish player, is now looking more like an equal game. I mean, better for us, the spectators, but if you are a Spanish fan, then you must start getting some Xanax. Xanax, I think that's the word. Hi, Sergey. Just a reminder to meeple the like button and not a field with your penultimate meeple. Rakarot is now losing value, maybe? Well, not really. I think they can go over here and kind of continue their city indirectly. And really, they could get a meeple back. They just need a crossroads, which I think still exists. Or a road tile, which I think still exists. They're probably going to use it now. Oh, of course, it's the dagger that they needed. So they win another coin flip. That's good for the Spaniards. 6 points still ahead. Fabian with a beautiful shielded triangle. But really not many uses for this. Maybe just block the monasteries. Maybe even drop a farmer potentially to like connect to the field like this and make sure that the field is completely yours. But of course, this all depends on the point count, and I'm not going to do the player's job. Let them calculate the number of points that they need to gain in order to win this game. So, the blocking move from Fabian, strong. The dagger that the Spaniard drew just earlier created a 6-point field at the bottom, but because Rakarot had depleted his meeple supply, he was not able to drop a meeple on this 6-point field, but Fabian drew a tile which doesn't fit into this field, and Rakarot drew a tile which is impossible to add to this field. But rest assured, whoever draws a road tile first will be able to add a farmer over here. Yes, this is exactly what Fabian does. Just to make sure to have complete advantage on the field. And now, he doesn't even have to connect the two fields. He's going to have the big field for like 15 points and the small field for 6 points for a total of 21 field points, which will make the game very, very close. Because we need not to forget this 15 monastery points that Rakarot has here and the 6 points advantage on the scoreboard, which equals exactly 21. In fact, green has slightly more points in total. Oh, what a tile. What a tile. Will Fabian use the splitter tile to get a juicy 10-point city? And he does. And also 3 extra points for the field. But there's also a field attacking platform. Will Rakarot use it? Will Rakarot go over here? Or will Rakarot just score 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points? But what does he need in order to win? I think he needs quick points and the city, or he needs the field. One of the two things. This tile was just a little bit too much. In the meantime, Nice Dicer had equalized the match with the Loco Elo. We might have to take a look at that decider. Team Belgium is climbing back into this match. Crossroad tiles for Rakarot, very versatile. I might get a meeple back, but we may be way past that point. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah, this is the last crossroads. So if he doesn't use this tile right now, he's not going to get this meeple back ever, but maybe he doesn't have to. Maybe the idea is to go over here, take the points, then to go over here, drop a farmer, and connect through this square by completing his road. Because I see still one Dorito tile with a road like this one, which fits into this square. So it is absolutely an opportunity to sneak into the big field like this, and Fernando must see this. The timing is unclear. They might have to do this right now, and then hope to draw this tile early so that they get a meeple back and so that they can use the meeple again. And then they might hope that this guy somehow doesn't connect into this field. I'm not sure how all of these things can be true at once. Well, that worked out a bit, unfortunately. Rackrod, by the way, would have gotten the tile that I was talking about, but of course it doesn't matter because this guy has a super majority on the field. And now Fabian needs to recognize that he has 3 farmers versus 1 and gets in the second farmer of Rackrod to make sure that this guy scores not 3 but 0 points. Ooh, we're going to see a lot of deciders as Moby Dick equalizes against El Gran Ohio. A lot of 1-1s, but it looked like this not in this game because it certainly is headed Fabian's way. Only 1 move left for both of these players, so Rackrot will not be able to equalize the field no matter what. He needs to go over here. Maybe he's now trying to assess the dangers of this city getting completed. Presumably the other tile is a city cap somehow. I'm gonna trust Fabian's judgment on that. Actually, yeah, it is a vanilla city cap. That's a genius move. I mean, it's so good. Because he wants to get compensation in case Rackrod draws the tile to finish the city. This is beautiful. And then, if he gets the city cap himself, then Fabian will put the city cap over here to eat up this farmer. And this is exactly what happens. This is just cold. Equal on the scoreboard, but this 21-point field will do it. Oh, yeah, for the... Wait, what? Wait, what? Am I missing something? Why did Fabian finish his opponent's city? Huh? I mean, it was a 0-point move because even though he gave him opponent extra 6 points by finishing the city, he kind of scored for both farmers. But why would you do that? Was that a flex? Just like, I can finish your city and still win? That is just cold. This is brutal. Plus 4 points. Did he calculate this? Oh, wow, certainly a painful loss from the Spaniard, but I have to say, a well-deserved loss, because look at these, both the players, I don't know, they must have just no fear, because what happened was, this guy, huge advantage, and in order to seal the game, they just needed to use this tile as a blocking tile and block the city. They didn't do that. They got greedy. So Rakarot got back into the game, finished this gigantic 38-point city, and a huge advantage with 8 extra points on the scoreboard and 2 monasteries. And then, as Fabian was desperately trying to climb back into the game, and all Rakarot needed to do was just to play normal moves, gain points, and keep the advantage. But no, they decided they wanted to play classic Carcassonne and start a big field fights, because field fights are fun. As a result, they lost all the meeples, they added points to what ended up the opponent's field, and lost just narrowly to the Belgian players. So certainly, well, this is a friendly match, so the stakes are not that high, and possibly an important lesson for Fernando for the championship. But we congratulate the first ever appearance on the international scene for Fabien Mouton with a 2-0 win against one of the Spanish top strikers. My respect. So let's have a look at some other games. How was Joaquin Calzado doing? They won the first game against Gina Gina. Aha, the second one they lost, and they are about to start a decider, so we might have a look at them. But let's have a bit of a look at the others. How is the Belgian captain doing? Aha, so there's also equality and there is a decider. We might have a look at them as well, but I maybe want to first of all have a look at Obi Wonder. Just like my intuition says that this is the most interesting one. I don't know why, I'm just feeling it. Well, no, it is not the most interesting one because they already lost, so a big point for Team Spain as the player with the screen name Meg Crack takes it down. Well, let's look at Nice Dicer at Tom D. Smith. And Spain wins here again, so far the Belgian newcomer is the only one who was able to secure a match point for their team. Well, how is El Gran Ohio? I don't think I've ever shown them. 3 words in the screen name. This is quite a lot. Okay, they are playing the decider, and this is what we're going to watch. Because Nico will be playing like for hours still. We will still have a chance. Okay, here, the Belgian player with the red meeples and the 14 points on the scoreboard is doing quite all right. Does El Gran Ohio has something to compensate that? Well, let's have a see. Let's have a look. Well, they're the city for 4 points, and it's 1 Dorito tile away from getting finished, which would also give Gran Ohio a meeple back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's still 2 Dorito tiles that fit into this square, although El Gran Ohio does not draw such a tile, but they draw a tile that equalizes these 2 farmers, so that's nice for them. Now, Moby, what could she do? Maybe counts up all the Doritos and makes some sort of blocking move that would reduce the chances of El Gran Ohio getting a meeple back, and this is exactly what she does. Does not meeple the road just yet. The road is only worth 4 points, and she decides that there will be a better use of this tile. El Gran Ohio, I see what they have. They have control over this 12-point field, and it now just became a 15-point field as they used this tile to add this little city piece, so that's nice spatial recognition on the part of the Spanish player. Still, 15 points doesn't look like it's going to be enough, because everything else is sort of kind of equal. El Gran Ohio gets a Dorito, but because of the thoughtful blocking move by Moby Dick, they will not be able to finish this city. And look at this, Moby draws a 9-point monastery. El Gran Ohio is typing GG in the chat, but it was GG even before. 18 points go on the scoreboard, and Meeple back into her hands. And what is that sportsmanship? Come on! To resign a game on stream with like several tiles before the end, it's called rage quitting. Don't do that ever, just in case we have any new players. I don't know, like, I mean, sometimes losses happen, like, I don't like when players do that. It's like so disrespectful. Why am I ranting about this? I'm not even in this match. Well, anyway, Team Spain, like Team Belgium deserves an extra match point for that kind of stuff, if you ask me. But it is what it is. Moby draws an extra monastery, and now the match is tied at 2 points. So this means that we should go back to Nico, the Belgian captain. Will they be capable of doing the captain's job? Although I'm calling this the captain's job, but it's like a bit going too hard on them. The captain's job is not just to win games. It's, you know, to organize everything and to boost morale. Yes, exactly, Nalaham. He's rage quitting on a practice game. Like, it's well, half of the game, this is like classic Nico Vellemans. Like, his positions are very often closed. So look at this. 35 tiles remaining, which means we're halfway through the game. And both players have like almost all of their meeples blocked on the board, and Nico has, and they have scored a cumulative 16 points only. 12 for Nico and 4 for Texi. So it's kind of hard to say who has the advantage. I think Nico has it a little bit better, but it all depends on this sensitive situation. So here's what's happening. A 2 versus 1 majority on this big city, medium-sized city, and Nico's trying to join. The problem is that this square is vulnerable, and there are very few tiles remaining to join because many Doritos have gone out, and 2 of the 4 triple cities that fit into this square have gone out. So there are in fact only 3 tiles that fit into this square. But on top of that, there's 1 splitter remaining. So if green draws a splitter tile, they can go over here, and then they can draw a tile that fits into this square, still 3 of those remaining, and then they can finish a city for boatload of points. Basically, they can try do something similar what Rakarot did in their previous game, but they don't get the tile just yet. Nico drops a city cap, doesn't do anything with it. Texei picks up the quick points, yum, 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 4 points on the scoreboard, now 12 versus 8. Nico's the one to get the divider. So this thing that I told you is ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen, but what could happen instead, if Texi draws a road tile and then another road tile, then this meeple will be trapped with 1 point, whereas this configuration will have 10 points. Actually, even more than 10 points, because eventually a tile will be drawn that goes over here, and this will add 4 extra points, 2 for the road and 2 for the city, presuming that it's a shielded tile to Texei. So the situation around this square, I would say, is still game decisive. But Nico now has a divider tile, and he doesn't really have a good place to use it. Probably going to end up dropping it, or he could risk it all and meeple the city over here. He does not. Wow. He finishes the city, but he allows. Wow. This has to have, I mean, you have to have a lot of courage to allow your opponent to potentially finish an 8-point city. Texi does not get a city cap that will make him finish the city, but Texi instead tries to block this square unsuccessfully, as Nico has to defend. Now there's only one tile remaining that fits into this square, and Texi now was able to finish his 8-point city. So this move over here ended up being not the wisest decision for the Belgium, and they're now equal on the scoreboard. And it is not very easy to be Nico, because you're essentially relying on drawing a coin flip. There's only one tile only that fits into this square. Elias is saying, I think people should not resign in chess when there's a forced mate in a few moves. I'd rather see the mate. I completely agree. It is always more fun to watch the game. Nico scores 3 points for a road, which is the biggest number of points available. Texi draws a monastery tile, but will they use the monastery? They decide not. But will Nico use the monastery tile? Your mind is saying no. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. Sorry. But like, as a Carcassonne player, you know, my hand would be like twitching on the mouse button around this square. Like, I really want to go here, meeple this monastery, then draw the road monastery, get boatload of points over here, get a curve, another curve, get 18 points, or just get all the 3 remaining monasteries, something like this. No, Nico's not ready to pull the trigger. He wants just to keep his 3 extra points on the scoreboard. Oh. Okay, so we have differing opinions here. So Sergey is saying, I like players quitting games. This is interesting. Even 1 tile before the end. Yeah, but you know what? But then we don't even know the score. It's like, imagine somebody is losing -60 and they're too embarrassed for this to be shown in statistics, and then instead they resign and like the score is whatever it is before the final points are counted. But in the meantime, Nico wins the coin flip. This is huge for the Belgian player, as they're 1 point ahead on the scoreboard and equal on the board, because they're losing in this mini battle but winning in this mini battle. So it is +1 for the Belgian, and they might successfully complete their captain's job after all. Texi starting a new city at the top, hoping to get another city cap and score 4 points. Right over here. Nico draws yet another monastery, which he will probably discard. Oh, okay, Afonso is also saying that you concede games often. Yeah, but like, I like the philosophy of the 2022 Mind Sports Olympiad champion, Nick Basti, ever. He never concedes games with the explicit purpose of inflicting suffering on himself, and I explain why. So he says, if I'm losing very badly, this means that I have must done a terrible mistake, and so I need to endure the suffering that is caused by my own mistake, so that next time I will know better and not put myself in such a position. So I absolutely just like love this commitment to Carcassonne masochism. It's beautiful. And my philosophy is a bit different. I mean, like, if you resign games too often, this means that you're playing to win only, and you never play to play. But, like, it's healthy to play and also try to win, not just play to win, if you know what I mean. So Nico finally actually does decide to meeple a monastery. I like that. Probably they knew that Texi was going to get the extra 4 points on the scoreboard, and Nico says, you know what, I'm gonna need something to show for it. And actually, with a small number of tiles remaining, this 7-point monastery might be okay, even if this meeple does not go back to Nico's hand. However, chances are it will. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's still 2 curves, and there's still 2 monasteries that fit into this square. So that's like a 57% chance, I think, something like this. However, it's a bit less because the ideal tile draw, as Texi starts another city up top, the ideal tile draw is that blue draws a curve first and a road monastery later. Because if blue draws a road monastery first, it's a bit awkward because he's forced to use up his last meeple here, and it's like a little bit risky. But anyway, it is what it is, and Nico now facing an interesting decision. He gets a triple city tile, which is technically useless, but will he go over here to try and block Texe's meeple? The idea is this: if he gets a triple city tile, puts it here, and then another triple city tile, then this square will be blocked, and green will have 2 trapped meeple versus 1 meeple of Nico. It is a bit of a stretch, and I wouldn't do that, but it's a worthy consideration. 20 seconds on Nico's clock. This is not ideal. He's known to get himself into time trouble. My long-time viewers will remember his win against a Catalan player 2 years ago in the World Team Carcassonne Online Championship, when he won with 1 second remaining despite starting with 22.5 minutes. He did try the blocking attempt, but this might turn south. Because Texei is about to eat up this city ruin. And Nico can't block because this tile doesn't help. Oh, but this is a fantastic tile for Nico. It goes over here, and he'll be prepared to drop a road monastery. This is so beautiful. Well, not beautiful, but like, it fits his wishes. But he's thinking for some reason. Oh, right. No, 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 Nico. This is such a huge mistake. Oh, this is painful. This is a double mistake because not only he prevents himself from completing the monastery in the future, he also, this is not a block, he saves this connection. This move does not reduce the number of tiles that fit into this square, not even by 1 tile. Well, yeah, Nico did win the national in-person Belgian championship with only one with only 1 tile, with only 1 second remaining on the clock. But his time management in this game is not perfect, because he ended up playing a move which basically helps this guy. Texi now has a big ruin, and now if Nico draws a road monastery, he will be forced to place his last meeple instead of getting 2 meeples back. So if Belgium loses this match, This curve will be the reason why. Honestly, like, there's a lot of pressure as the captain. I would typically, when I lose a game as the captain of Team Latvia or a match as the captain of Team Latvia, up until recently, when I like got some, let's say after I got some help, let's say, I would process these. Well, basically, I would find losses as a captain quite painful, but maybe it won't come to that, because Nico is bailed out by the deck. He draws the last curve, places it next to his monastery, and now if he gets the road monastery tile first before Texey, he will get 18 points on his scoreboard, and this will probably just enough to offset this ruin. However, Texey could in theory go over here and threaten the completion of this ruin, but it will be an empty threat, because in fact there are no Dorito tiles. So if Texey goes over here, it looks super dangerous, but in fact there will be nothing that fits into this square. Yeah, it looks super dangerous, but Nico draws the monastery tile, and yet again we see mistakes being not punished. 18 points for the Belgian scoreboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 points. 12 points is the value of this ruin, and 2 points is the value of this extra road versus city mini battle. So 10 points extra. Texey is ahead plus. Oh, is -1. Yeah, Nico's winning this no matter what, I think. Especially once he Churabatin draws the second monastery and just gonna get 2 extra road points or something like this. Well, actually, he doesn't even have to get 2 points. He just might meeple another monastery for fun. Or a 6-point field. Everything wins. He has an extra point and an extra meeple. It should be impossible to lose this. I know how it's possible to lose this. Imagine this. Blue goes into time trouble, as they love doing. Then blue miscounts the number of tiles, and then they use this monastery tile over here to create a blocking platform, because they're afraid that this city is going to get finished or something. And then they just go blocking, and spend all their moves on blocking and forget to score points. This is how blue could lose. And they're doing the first part. They are getting into time trouble. They have under 1 minute. They are trying to make this interesting, whereas objectively this shouldn't be interesting. Ooh, they could go here, start a 6-point monastery, and wait for one of the crossroads tiles to score extra 3 points for the road and 1 monastery point. So that would be a nice setup move. If you want to, you know, have some pizzazz. Oh, hi, Mod. Congratulations on your win with double monasteries. We were there to witness that. And your opponent's rage quit. Well. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Don't lose on time. No. That's it. That's a loss, right? Is my board game arena up to date? Yes, it is. They're minus 17 seconds. What is happening? I mean, we're not disconnected, right? Yeah. You're seeing the. We're still live. Minus 33. What is happening? And we know that Nico is connected because we can see this. So I hope that they're not having some sort of personal emergency. Texi is not typing anything in the chat, not claiming their win. He scores a 4-point monastery after thinking for a minute? I don't understand this, but will Texi claim a win on time, or did the players agree on some special rules for this friendly match? I am puzzled. Hi, Nicholas. Texi starts a new city and Nico gets a road, which he will use for scoring. Oh, he wrote server problem. Okay, this is interesting. Server problem? What does that mean? Which kind of server? Wait. Texi gets 8 points in a meeple back. This is not over. This is super close. In fact, this is dead equal, I think. No, I think Texi's ahead. No, yes. Well, but now Nico went out of time again, and there's no server problem. And Texi's gonna score a 6-point field at the bottom. Huh? Yeah, I mean, Nico is indeed doing some random moves, but I'm not quite understanding this. So is Nico's idea that he still wants to try and play on time, or is that his way of acknowledging defeat? I'm not sure. But I think it's a tie, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, it's gonna be a tie. Oh my god. But because if it's a tie, Texi wins because Nico was the starting player. Wow. This is as confusing as it gets. Yeah, I win, says Texi, but like, does this count as a win on time? Does this count as the win on the board because there's a tie? I remind all my newer viewers that there are no ties in this championship. Whenever there's a tie, the win is awarded to the player who was moving second and not first. So Texi wins in some sort of way, and Spain has guaranteed themselves at least a tie. Oh, actually, let me just correct the formula. And now, don't tell me, we'll have to look at the results of Gina. Somebody must have told this in the chat. Don't spoil this. So, Joaquin Calzado has lost -47. Wow, that's severe against Gina. And this means that Spain has won that. No. Belgium has won that part of the encounter. Look how symmetrical it is. Wins for Belgium on the first 3 boards. Wait, wins for Spain on the second boards. But look at this. The number of games is in favor of Belgium. So Belgium wins the match because it's 3-3 in duels and it is what, 12-11 in games, which is the first tiebreaker. And this is because the second game between Fabian and Rakarot, which could have absolutely turned the Spaniards' way as a result of that field fight, Fabian was able to win 2-0 instead of 2-1 and bring the Belgian team a win. What a day here for the newcomer to qualify for your national team the first time, then to have a perfect record against your opponent's top striker and the highest player in the opponent team, and be the only player in your team to win 2-0 rather than 2-1, and for that to be the decisive factor that gave your team a win. This is absolutely Fabian's day. So he hasn't qualified. So then you just decided to train him up for the future. Well, your loss. I mean, I think he should absolutely be on the team. But, I mean, I'm not the Belgian captain. You do what you do. At least I'm glad that we got to see some newer players today and their games. Whew. What else to say? Well, it's a pity that we didn't get to look at Lo Coelho. That's the one duel that we didn't have time for. But it is what it is. We saw 10 different players. I think it qualifies as a good evening. Congratulations to everybody who was rooting for Belgium, and to all of us that the World Championship, that the World Cup season has started. Many more of these streams to come. Just a couple of announcements before we leave. Yes, as some of you mentioned earlier, there will be 1,000 subscriber celebration coming up in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. This weekend, there's going to be a huge stream. I'm streaming Copa America, all matches, like it's going to be a marathon. It's going to be at least 10 hours long. So it's going to be my longest stream ever at 1600 UTC time on Saturday. And we're also streaming the playoffs on Sunday. And tomorrow, before that, not on my channel, but on Nalaheim's channel, you can watch him commentate another friendly match between Team Spain and the newcomer Team Croatia. Yes, 10-hour stream, no joke. And Mexico will be playing indeed. It's going to be Mexico, Brazil, Chile, Guatemala, Cuba for the first time. There's a Cuban team. Like Copa America, you have to watch it. It's honestly, I think that this stream is going to be like as fun as the Mind Sports Olympiad. I'm looking forward to Saturday a lot. Trying to drink a lot of liquid to train up my voice for this. So yeah, a lot of content coming up in the Carcassonne world, so keep your weekend calendars open. That's it then. Congratulations to Belgium. Don't forget to meet with the like button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'ma see you soon.